This is Project 2, Cybersecurity Risk Assessment, Team New Zealand. Some of the topics we will be covering in this PowerPoint include security measures, weaknesses and mitigations / policy, attack vectors, attribution analysis, the vulnerability matrix, and some recommendations. Let's talk about security measures, authentication, access control, and authorization. First, let's start with training employees. So, security awareness training is a formal process for educating employees and any third-party stakeholders like contractors, business partners, and how to protect your organization's computer systems, along with its data, people, and other assets, from internet-based threats to criminals. This is very important because your employees will be up to date with any type of training that involves security awareness. Second, being able to control physical access to your computers and create user accounts for each employee. This prevents access or use of business computers by an unauthorized user. Laptops can be particularly easy targets for theft or can be lost, so when they're unattended, please lock them up. Finally, network security monitoring. This is some automated process that monitors network devices and traffic for security vulnerabilities, threats, and suspicious activities. Organizations can use it to detect and respond to cybersecurity breaches quickly without having to slow down. This is the continuation for security measures. Let's talk about authentication. Authentication is the process of identifying users that request access to a system, network, or device. So you have to be able to ask access to the system. Keyword, request, okay? Asking for access. 2, being able to install a reliable antivirus. A good, reliable antivirus program is a basic must-have of any cybersecurity system. Apart from that, anti-malware software is also an essential. They work as a final frontier for defending unwanted attacks should they get through your security network, like firewalls. Finally, having a strong access control policy. Access control policies are high-level requirements that specify how access is managed and who may access information under what circumstance. This is important when it comes to sensitive information. Who gets to see it? Let's talk about some weaknesses and mitigations. First weakness, the infrastructure of New Zealand is highly interconnected and interdependent. It is therefore more exposed to cyber threats and vulnerabilities. Mitigation, create an infrastructure that can work independent even though some parts may be compromised. Second weakness, considering the poor passwords that people may choose. Passwords are the most common means of authentication, but only work if they are complex and confidential, meaning no sharing. Many systems and services have been successfully breached because of a non-secure and inadequate password. Once a system is compromised, it is open to exploitation by other unwanted sources. Mitigation, creating stronger passwords and possibly even using two-step factor authentication. Training people on how to create stronger passwords as well. All right, let's talk about attack vectors and attribution analysis. First, phishing. Phishing is a social engineering attack that hackers utilize to obtain sensitive information such as login credentials and credit card numbers by tricking users. Yes, actually tricking users into believing that they are from a reputable source. Malware. Malware is a malicious software developed by cyber criminals with the intent to harm a device, network, or system. Ransomware. Cyber criminals develop ransomware to lock organizations out of their systems by encrypting their data in exchange for some ransom. This could be money or any other type of ransoms. The encryption key is provided only when the organization pays the required ransom. Failure to pay the ransom can result in the publishing of sensitive data on public websites. DOS attacks, or denial of service attacks. A denial of service attack are designed to oversaturate an organization's system with unnecessary requests until normal traffic is no longer able to be processed, which results in service unavailability. So you can no longer use that service. Let's continue. Attack vectors and attribution analysis. Software vulnerabilities. This is when networks, operating systems, computer systems, or applications do not receive proper patching, so attackers will leverage this vulnerability to gain unauthorized access, followed by compromised user credentials. Knowingly or inadvertently, whether verbally or non-verbally, sharing of login credentials, which can result in cybersecurity attacks. Weak passwords and credentials. In a brute force attack, hackers can easily uncover user passwords with aid of sophisticated software if they are extremely weak. Poor or missing encryption. Sending unencrypted sensitive data is never a good idea. So please do not do it. The main purpose of encryption is to translate data from readable to unreadable. Therefore, sending encrypted data means that everyone will have access to the data, including hackers. Any misconfigured devices. The misconfiguration of hardware and software can leave an organization vulnerable to multiple attacks. And hackers can leverage this vulnerability to deploy any type of malware, ransomware, and many more security attacks. Finally, insider threats. Yes, insider threats. Some employees can pose a serious threat to an organization. This is because they are well familiar with the processes, policies, security awareness of the organizations. What is an attribution analysis? Well, let's start with what are attributions. In the field of cybersecurity, an attribution is the process of identifying and tracking down the perpetrators of a cybersecurity attack. Attribution allows for the organization to completely focus on their network cybersecurity weaknesses and prevent any future exploits. Although attribution is very important in cybersecurity, it is also a very difficult task and process. Attribution is important for organizations because it allows them to take law enforcement actions, international relations, and the uncovering of security flaws of an organization. Let's talk recommendations. So here are 10 tips for improving cybersecurity. Okay. First, update security policies. Any policies that are not updated can be a risk. Require strong authentications for all users, no matter who it is. Refresh your network security controls. Prepare for compromises, meaning you might not have exactly what you want. Keep your security knowledge current. This involves training, okay, and any type of teaching. Improve employee awareness of security. Teach employees how to see the signals of basic intrusions. Teach them how to create stronger passwords. Okay? Any employee should be skeptical. Always do a check before you open any attachment. Make sure it's coming from a reputable source. Be selective. Use private networks, such as your home network, or if you're at work, use your work network. Okay? Never use any unsecured networks, such as those of your local coffee shop. Be organized. Create a unique password for each website and app, and use a strong password manager program that remembers all of your passwords. That way you have unique passwords for different places and different websites. Be prepared. Use an anti-malware software and keep your operating system and applications fully patched. Make sure your data is also backed up.